Alright guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the hip check. So to do the hip check, you're going to build up some speed, click in the right stick, hold it, and then press in L1 and hold L1. If you press L1 first, you're just going to kind of go down for the L1 crouch block. And if you don't perfectly target your opponent, you're just going to kind of glide right around them. So you've got to line them up just perfectly. And when you do, you can get some of the most explosive hits in the game. I'd say all of the biggest hits that I've seen in this game have come via the hip check. Obviously, if you don't build up enough speed before you hit your target, you're not going to connect, so you have to do it just perfectly. Otherwise, you're going to get a piggyback ride or whatever this is. So, you know, as cool as that is, you're going to want to connect full speed with the hip check to get the desired result. So anyway, we're going to go into EASHL here, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So here is where the hip check I think is the best, and that's right along the boards.
Stop being so strong, bro.
Obviously, if your teammates are kind of forcing a guy to a certain area and he's got nowhere to go, or in the dump in, and you know exactly where he's going to go, this is where you can line him up with the hip check and do a lot of damage. The great thing about the hip check too that I've found is I've never seen a boarding call on the hip check, and I've never seen a charging call on the hip check. So that's part of what makes it really great along the boards. Also, look out if your teammates are in the vicinity. You might catch them with the hip check, so be careful. Like I said, there's some really explosive hits that come from the hip check. I love this move as a defenseman when teams are entering the zone along the boards. You can kind of rub them out right along the boards, and they're not going to be able to go anywhere. Finally, one of the great things about the hip check, and you can do it in the open ice as well, but obviously it's going to be much harder to line up. And just like any other hit, if you miss, you're going to give up a good chance going the other way. But really the best thing about hip checks is that any size player class can do it. So here, King playing as a dangler levels a defenseman with a tiny dangler class. So if you like to play one of the smaller classes in EASHL, like a sniper or the dangler or a smaller playmaker build, but you still want to throw hits around, the hip check is your best bet to get the big hits that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get. So I've heard some people say that hip checks are even OP in this game. I'm not ready to go that far. I think it's still really hard to line people up for a good hip check, but when you do, man, is it awesome. So anyway, guys, that's the hip check. I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you in the next video.